We've got Debbie here too, hiding in the attendees.
I just promoted her, or at least sent her an invitation, Miss Slaughter.
Amazing, thank you.
Sure.
We've got Debbie here too.
And the meeting is being recorded and we are live streaming as well. And I'll try one more time or more times to just send Miss Lynn again an invitation.
Perfect. I'm gonna pull up the agenda.
Is the PC under a panelist one of ours as well? Do we know who that is?
The public computer, with the change from live to Zoom only, we left the doors downstairs open, put out a sign that if someone were to come, they can come upstairs and we have the computer available so they can participate.
Perfect, thank you.
Sure. I lost Miss Lynn somewhere. She's not on the. Well, we still have about a minute, Madam Co-Chair, so hopefully Miss Lynn will come back on and I'll promote her and we'll be set to go.
It's 6 o'clock. I think even without Debbie, we have quorum if my math is correct. Maybe not.
No, ma'am, you are absolutely correct. One for
Perfect.
one in the new year.
All right, well, let's call this meeting to order. And just want to say Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New
Ready
Year.
for a big
Happy New
year.
Year.
We've been talking about the 30th anniversary for the 2 years that I've been on the commission. So I'm so excited that it's finally here and so excited to plan this thing with you guys again. Let's get the roll call whenever you have a second, Chris.
Okay. Commissioner Slaughter,
Here.
Commissioner Schultz, Commissioner Jailing,
Present.
Commissioner Silverman,
Present.
Commissioner Jones, Commissioner Coleman, Commissioner Lind, Commissioner Siebert,
Here.
Council Liaison Edens,
Here.
and myself. We have a quorum.
Wonderful. All right, the minutes for our November 6th meeting were sent around as part of our packet. Did anyone have any questions on them? Any revisions, anything worth discussing? Great. Can we have a motion to approve those minutes from the November meeting?
I'll approve.
Perfect. First from Kirsten. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Perfect. Second from Miss Jailing. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any abstentions? Any nays? Thank you. All right. I know that public computer is down there, but it doesn't seem as if anybody's raised their hand. So I think we can move forward without any public comment. And now we can get into the nitty gritty.
Madam
So Chair,
Chair,
to you.
if I could interrupt you, and my apologies. We also have a set of minutes from the December 3rd Zoom meeting where we picked the logo.
Oh, we do. Great. I candidly did not look at those, so I will abstain. Does anyone have any revisions, questions, or anything about the December 3rd? Great. Can I get a motion to approve those?
I make a motion to approve December 3rd meeting.
Commissioner Jailing. A
I'll
second.
second. I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Silverman. All in favor?
Aye.
Hey.
I'm gonna abstain because I did not click the second link. I'm so sorry.
Don't worry about it.
Any nays? Perfect. That passes as well. Okay, now we can get into it. So I'll turn it over to you, Director Vunich.
Thank you, ma'am. Well, first of all, commission members, Happy New Year, and thanks so much for attending tonight's meeting. We have several items on it we'd like to discuss. The first of those is the 30 by 30 challenge. And as you know, near the end of 2024, we spent a great deal of time kind of talking through the challenge as a substitute for the very popular scavenger hunt. And we ended up with a list of well over 30. We kind of pared that list down to the 30 we thought were best. And the last meeting, not the Zoom meeting on the logo, we actually presented the format. Ms. Chansky had put it together, and all of you accepted that. And so tonight, I just want to kind of update you. It has been finalized. It was part of the package you received. Also, the version that you received did not have a few changes to the logo that were made. And I don't know, Stacy, can we share screen? Do you have that available? And well, I'll continue on, but oh, there you are. Yeah. Good job, Chris. So there is the 30 by 30 challenge. And as I mentioned, you all saw it at the November meeting and very much, I think, were supportive of it. And as I mentioned, there have been a couple changes to the logo, and for the most part, we asked the winner of the contest, and do you have that by any chance, Chris? The logo itself, the new logo, or Stacy?
Stacy does. She's bringing it up now.
All right, thanks so much.
Mhm.
And the changes, I think, came more so from anything than the commission members. As you know, we had talked about the fact that it didn't necessarily have anything relating to the 30th anniversary. And some of it, at least from the perspective of the department, we thought could be embellished a little. So as soon as we get the logo up there, I'll be able to describe those two items in a little bit more detail. So tonight we're presenting it to you and just making sure that it's what you expected, and for the most part, ready to go. So here's the logo. We asked the winner of the logo contest to maybe make the sun a little bit more pleasant, so to speak. And so as you can see, instead of that blue kind of wavy background, it now reflects the sun rays from the sun. We added the 30th anniversary. And instead of those kind of like slender leaves, we added some stars on either side. So hopefully, from your all's perspective, the three changes, the 30th anniversary, the stars, and the change to the sun are positives. But I think internally here at the Department of Planning and Parks, we're pretty pleased with the outcome now.
Yeah.
It's a little brighter too.
I think it looks really great.
It looks really nice.
I
So
wouldn't have even thought about changing the sky. Now that I see it, I totally love it more. So what a great call, guys.
well, and again, it was more Chris and Stacy, but you gave us a good palette to work with. I think at the end of the day, your actions on the selection of logo really bore out, and I think it's just going to be something very nice. So if we could go back to just the full screen, Stacy. Thank you. And Chris, get us all on the. So again, what we've got before you tonight is the final for the 30 by 30 Wildwood Challenge. We have as part of the new one, the new logo. And tomorrow, with your all's permission, which will be by motion and second, our intent is to do a special e-newsletter with this as the sole topic, so we can kick that off with our residents. So the event will start January 9th, and I think we're all set to go. We'll also do a social media post as part of the website, or excuse me, the newsletter introduction. And then obviously we'll have it on the website. So there's something there for every season. Kind of mentioned in the memorandum that we've identified Hidden Valley Ski Resort, great place to go ski or tube, and many, many others. So any comments or questions from the members? And again, if we could go to those full screen exit share screen, please. Thanks. So any comments or questions?
I think it looks great. Love it. Does anyone have any thoughts, any comments, any questions? The box colors matching are so great. Stacy, you're such a wizard with all of your graphic design. Thank you again. All right, well, let's put it to motion. I am reminded that I believe we have to be on camera to vote. So if you don't want to be on camera, that's fine. We'll just have to count you as abstentions, I believe, if want to be above board here.
Yeah, I brought that up just because the legal reasoning from our city attorney and counsel is theoretically, we don't know who's in the room if we can't see you, so somebody else could be voting and using your name. That's like the strict legal reasoning that we have in council meetings. And so you're still able to comment, you're still able to chime in, you just can't make the motion or vote without turning that camera on.
So just to backtrack to make sure we're above board, I do believe Ms. Silverman made a second. So can we,
Yes.
And honestly, maybe the roll call. Yeah.
if
But
we can,
she's still a body that counts towards the quorum, but I think,
so can we just update that second? Would anyone else like to make that second? Lauren will make it, and then let's just, for the sake of it, let's all just revote with the new second. All in favor of approving those minutes? Aye.
Aye.
Great.
Aye.
Abstain will be myself, Miss Silverman, and Debbie.
Can you not see me?
I can't. I'm so sorry. It's just
No,
the
it's
worst.
the
Technology is just not our friend sometimes.
Okay.
Did you look down in the corner and make sure you turned on the video in the bottom left?
Bottom left.
And Ms. Silverman, I just sent you an invite to
Here we
turn
go.
on the video.
How's
There you
that?
Yeah,
Here I
okay, how
am.
about you, Debbie? Can you do it?
I'll send her the same invite.
Wonderful. Okay. Well, glad we've got that previous motion taken care of, and that's just a good thing to know moving forward. So let's go with this next one of, can we get a motion to move forward with the launch of our 30 by 30 tomorrow with the special newsletter and all of the great marketing things that the city has planned?
I motion.
Great. We've got a first from Lauren, and then I'll take a second from Miss Silverman, who is on the screen.
I'm there. There I am.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any abstentions? Any nays? We're doing it, guys. We're launching it. A passing comment / idea turned into a whole program. How exciting is that?
Yep. Good job, you all. I think it's just going to be something people will appreciate. And we are, as you know, through your direction. When people post, we're going to do some drawings through the year to kind of reward them for participating and making the event fun.
Well, if I take a picture right now of the Zoom with me and Miss Edens, is that considered a picture with your council person?
I think so. We've met. I know you.
Just wondering.
I'll allow it.
I
Absolutely.
think
Take
there's
that
an old
screenshot.
saying, you know,
I'm
go
gonna
rather
hold up
than-
a sign that says word 2 is your favorite though. But other than that, that's
Yeah. But it was the first one, the first box. That's what I was trying
That's
to
right.
get it off of.
it totally counts.
Okay. Oh, I've lost my agenda. There she is. Okay. Moving on to revenue, sponsorship and 2025 funding. The
Good.
money.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the commission. The department has prepared for your consideration tonight the memorandum relative to revenue sources and sponsorships for the upcoming 2025 event, which is our 30th anniversary. As you know, you all made a major decision back at the end of 2024 when you endorsed the sponsorship level increasing by $5,000 from $30,000 to $35,000. And in concert with that, the city council agreed to increase the amount of funding for 2025 for this event from $90,000 to $95,000. In principle, we now have roughly about $130,000 for the event this year. And again, it's approximately $10,000 more than last year due to the fact that it is our anniversary year. As part of our efforts, the department has prepared a list of 7 items that would like you all to endorse so that we can begin them. Those 7 items are listed now on page 2 of the memorandum. And again, it, for the most part, says retain our banner program and certainly, if possible, expand it to other commercial locations where available streetlights the city own are in place. That generally means not necessarily the core area of our town center where we typically do it, that being Manchester Road, Taylor Road, Main Street, but also potentially Plaza Drive and other portions of Manchester Road. Hey, Miss Lynn, good to
There's
see you.
Deb.
Secondly, obviously, the Gazette is a key tool because we use it to provide information to all residents. It's a direct mailing to approximately 14,000 households. So we want to keep that as the centerpiece article for the Wildwood Gazette that's published approximately 3 weeks or so before the event in September. Also, last year we agreed that we shouldn't just limit our solicitation of business sponsorships to Wildwood locations only. And so again, we're wanting to do that. We did have success of getting some businesses that are not part of the Wildwood community to participate. And I don't believe there was any negative feedback from our local businesses or others regarding such. And obviously, a lot of our contractors who, as I've mentioned in the past, receive a great deal of funding from us for services provided are not necessarily located in Wildwood. So again, we're going to try to tap into that particular source, particularly our consultants as well as our contractors. Again, one of the things I think would be effective, I don't know if you know, Miss Edens does, and maybe a few others, but every month we send out a new resident packet. We get the information about new residents through Ameren, Missouri, and their electrical connections that are made. And that's about 100 or so packets that go out every month. And so the idea here is start putting some information about Celebrate Wildwood in the new resident packets and use that as a vehicle as well. So instead of just sending to current resident or resident that we know, we'll actually get the new residents as well. Again, if we limit it just to August, September, that's 200, but I'm looking for direction if we should start as soon as possible. And that's something we'll talk about here just in a second. Again, unless there's a change, as you know, in 2024, we changed the sponsorship levels. We reduced the number, but we also increased the availability of the larger sponsorship level. And the department is recommending we continue forward with that and not change it. I think it was very successful. And this year we're looking at implementing cost reductions because we'll be at our own venue. And that venue will have electricity. So the largest charge for Celebrate Wildwood, which is the electrical component, about $20,000 this year, we will not need if all goes well. And then finally, we have our own communications manager now, Gina Tard, who had that same position, so to speak, at the St. Louis Community College Wildwood campus. So in lieu of Debbie Ward and Silver Tablet Marketing, which we do spend a great deal of funds to accommodate our efforts, we're going to kind of shift over to our in-house person. And there again is another cost savings. The cost savings, based upon your direction, will roll into other programs and opportunities to make this event for our 30th anniversary the best possible it can be. So those are the 7 options, and please, I'd like to hear your opinions. I'd like to hear any changes, and also if there's anything we've missed as Kristen, Stacy, and I. Thank you.
One, it's really exciting to hear about some of those cost savings because I think that there are some great ways that we could use those funds that have typically been earmarked for that to make the experience, not the experience is already great, but I think that there are things that we hear typically that we can't really address, like more tents or, different things that I feel like these are opportunities that we could really tackle those. I had a question.
Sure.
One, I think all 7 of those are great. I was reading along. Do we have those funds earmarked for something else already?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
So that again, as we go through the process over the next few months, those anticipated cost savings, we can at least consider using some of those funds for new things that in the past we may not have been able to.
Love that. I think that maybe not now, but in the future months, maybe we could, maybe even next month, we could put on the agenda like a brainstorming session of things that we think might be worth looking into. Obviously, with a large scale event, you really do have to add new elements super far in advance. And so I would hate for us to wait too far and then, have a great idea and then have it be May. So even if it's just, you know, 10 minutes to think about some activations that we could use those cost savings on. Obviously, I think when do we typically get the bids for our other vendors? Because as everyone knows, everything is getting more expensive. So maybe those cost savings are not the savings that we think it are, and maybe it's just a break even, but just would be nice to have that aligned kind of timing wise.
Well, Madam Chair, Kristen and Stacy will give an update on where we are contractually with a lot of our key providers in a few minutes here. So
Correct.
if I can leave that question unanswered, we'll get to it.
Awesome. Does anyone have any questions about the 7 items that we need to approve going forward?
And again, Madam Chair, if there's anything we've missed, any ideas out there, we'd love to hear them because obviously the more money we generate, the more we may save, but also the more we may be able to do.
I think I mean, obviously last year we decided to move away from the internet, which was nice. That was a cost saving. So considering we'll likely do that again, the electric piece is huge, 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 huge.
Yeah.
So that is exciting.
I'll add as a footnote, commission members, the internet never seemed to work when we wanted it to work and worked fine when we tested it before the event. So
Always, always.
yeah, so eliminating it was like a big stress relief for all of us well, as a group.
Great. Does anyone have anything that they can think of off the top of their head that we've missed or that we can add to that list from a financial perspective? Great. Do you need a motion from us to be able to move forward with those?
Please, and a couple of things before the motion, second and vote is made. Per the request of our co-chair, Ashley Schlauter, and with no objection to the commission, we'll have an agenda item, kind of brainstorm about potential new things at our next meeting in February. And again, if you think of something else after tonight's meeting, we'll bring it up in February. Thank you.
Oh, no.
Just put on the top of the list like bright pink, fun golf carts for the commission.
Got it.
Think Liberace. That's how we should spend that money. That feels responsible.
Well, I'm old enough to know who he is. I don't know if everybody is, but
Oh, awesome. Okay, well, can we get a motion to approve those 7 items for the city to move forward from Miss Edens? Do we have a second?
I second.
Second from Miss Schultz. It's like a race.
That's okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any abstentions? Any nays? Perfect. Thanks so much. All right, next item. Keep losing my agenda.
Mine keeps going away too.
Oh, that's a historic preservation agenda. I was like, we are not talking about the right thing. Dun, dun, dun. You guys know what it is. Sorry, city staff. I've totally lost my agenda. Whoever is next can.
venue.
Venue. Found it. Thanks,
Uh,
Joe.
My pleasure, ma'am. So, Madam Co-Chairs and members of the commission, in everyone's life, a little rain must fall, and in this particular case, the venue is not as far along as I had hoped. Now, saying that, The good news is we don't need it till roughly the mid part of September 2025. So a quick assessment tells me that we have 9 months and we are in good shape for that. Unfortunately, some of the events we planned for early April, like our spring egg hunt and maybe the first concert or two, could be in jeopardy right now. And
Hmm.
I'll give you my explanation because I think you deserve it, because the venue really was designed for this event, quite frankly. Um, we needed a permanent home. Can't count on being at different locations or the same location as the past few years any longer. It just isn't in our best interest. And so from the perspective, we started off on just a really bad step. We are grading that site, and that grading is over an acre in area. And so we required a land disturbance permit from the Missouri Department of Natural Resources. We submitted the permit and the required $5,000 for the permit itself to the MDNR, and they lost it in their computer system. Now, we were patient because we know permits take time, but about 6 weeks in, we called and asked, and they said, "What permit?" After some investigation, they found the permit. They had already returned the funds, which I didn't know. So we refiled, resubmitted the money, and pleaded with them to expedite if they could. Well, expediting that to them was another 8 weeks. So instead of having the permit sometime in April, we got it, relatively speaking, around mid-June, late June of this past year. So work actually didn't start on the site till July. And for the most part, after that, my explanation gets a little more murky because we are recording this and live streaming it. Suffice to say, we've made some progress, not as much as I like. And we're kind of held up now with the time of year and weather. And so all in all, it's been a disappointment, and I take full responsibility. The general contractor is my responsibility, and we've struggled, quite frankly. At some points, we only had one contractor there, and that was one person. So I've expressed my frustration to him on multiple occasions, and suffice to say, he probably thinks I'm the two-headed monster. But September is good. He understands the urgency, and as soon as weather breaks, we're going to get back out there and go full steam. So I just thought it was beneficial, you know where we're at. There's nothing to panic about. We have 9 months, and the major feature, the oval, has been completed, at least the concrete work. We have substituted what we called an organic lot, which is the interior portion of the oval, another 10-foot wide area with pavers. And the pavers are going to be much, much better. And I think they're going to work so well for our events versus the organic lock, which was more of a natural surface solution. It worked, but it just wasn't something I think could take the wear and tear of vehicles, thousands of people at an event, etc. So we've made some progress in those delays by improving the design. So I gave you the key sheets of the plan set. And if there's any questions, Chris, Stacy, and I'd be glad to answer them at this time.
Are we gonna do that memorial box, bricks or whatever, also still?
Yes, yes. And if you just give me a second.
I think that would be a really good thing to promote during the 30-year anniversary, especially people like me who've been here for all 30 of the years. I think, we might have put that on our challenge, buy a brick.
Or at least, the very least, another fundraising opportunity.
I think it'd be a really great fundraiser opportunity. So
But yeah, if you look at your plan set,
I got mine right here.
L100, which is the general landscape plan, you
Uh-huh.
can see the Ayers Grove pavers. That's the area where we're going to add. You're all a paver recognizing each of the Wildwood Celebration Commission members, a paver for each of the councils for the last 30 years. Pavers, obviously, we have for the most part, we have, yeah. And if you see it down there, it's referenced. Thank you, Chris. You're very helpful.
Okay.
Yeah, so yes. And I didn't put that on the list of revenue sources, but thank you, Ms. Jelving. If there's no objection, you may add that in if
Yeah.
you
Mhm.
like.
My only note, just because I am, plan giant conferences on the side, so I just like to have a good contingency. Can we maybe just worst case scenario, let's say July, if we don't have like a for sure, maybe put on our July agenda to have an emergency plan B. Again, Joe, I feel like I don't want to visit you in the hospital when you have a stroke because this isn't done. But just again, just a thought. Maybe we go to some of our plan Bs from last year, but just to put a pin in, let's maybe make our July meeting, if need be, a place where we come up with a contingency, heaven forbid.
And certainly we can do that, but you'll probably be talking to a different director of planning and parks, which I deserve to be fired if it's not ready. So, but
Sorry
yes, we'll
to
put on the
interrupt.
Don't be
July
so hard
agenda.
on yourself.
Yeah, you'll be fine. We'll be
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I mean, we
We
waited.
may all
30
be down there digging and
Yeah, I
Well,
was gonna
thanks,
say
Ms.
we waited
Jones.
30 years for this, so what's 6 more months, I mean,
Right.
really, in the
Mhm.
grand scheme of things, I think you have a council that would just like to see it done right, and so, I mean,
Agreed. We give a
rather than,
city who would
yeah,
just like to see it done
Yeah.
right. So,
yeah, it's okay, it's okay.
So will there
Chris?
be water? Will there be water in this area?
Mhm. Yes, ma'am. So all the utilities will be available, electric, water. The key things that we always need for Celebrate Wildwood, that was part of the kind of the DNA that started all of this. And as I say, we've improved the oval, I think, markedly, so much so that I think you'll really be happy. And the oval's designed to accommodate up to 100 vendors, tents, 10 by 10s. And then we have we have part of the property to the south of the oval that'll accommodate our bounce houses. And then we have another 3 acres on the other to the west. Now, we're also already into phase 2 of the Village Green. Ms. Edens knows of this, but Planning and Parks Committee, 8 of our 16 council people have authorized the development of an all-inclusive playground. The playground is in design with a company called Unlimited Play. And at our January Planning and Parks Committee meeting, they'll be there to present it if you're interested, and you can view it via Zoom and YouTube. So we're going to have not 2025 because the playground won't be complete, but in 2026, there's going to be just one whopper of a playground out there for everybody to enjoy as part of the 2026 Celebrate Wildwood event.
Cool.
and where's the stage?
The stage is, if you come into the back parking lot of City Hall, the stage area is immediately to your right as you come in. And so we did that intentionally, Miss Jones, so as the large vehicles would have easy access to the stage area.
That makes sense.
Chris, you were going to say something, and I don't want to lose that.
Thank you. I just want to add in Officer DeGelder is in the attendees, Joe. I
Oh,
want to add him
thanks.
in. You're
Chris,
welcome. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Great. Any other, again, I am going to believe and trust, and it's all gonna be great. I don't mean to be such a panicker. You got to have one of us in every crowd, a panicker in every crowd.
Well, I
It
can
never
assure
hurts to have a plan B.
Okay.
I assure you we'll have a plan B, and I am lighting a candle every Sunday.
All right. Let's move on to activities, commitments, and actions.
That will be Miss Nager and Miss Chansky.
Okay, I'm really gonna go over probably line by line because this is our first update for 2025. So we'll let you know what we have committed already. Obviously, the event location we've discussed, the layout is totally pending until we're further along. Fireworks, that is in progress. They mentioned something pretty exciting to us on the phone, so they're trying to figure out if they can pull something off for our 30th. to maybe
Cool.
put like a 30 up in the air.
To
So
run with
yeah.
Schmoes.
So yeah, so that's pretty exciting. Waste services, I have a schedule for them. I just haven't notified them yet. Volunteers, we haven't done anything yet with. Sponsorships, as we've discussed, our goal is 35,000 set by the commission in 2024. Bistro lighting, that'll kind of be determined after the layout is set also, but we absolutely do want to keep the bistro lighting, and we have talked to outdoor lighting about that as well, that we are going to wait until we get a little bit closer. Police services, as usual, Officer DeGelder, who just popped in here, is doing his arrangements and help, and he may add something in too as well to this. He has somebody that's coming in to assist with that. Our schedule, our daytime band has not been booked yet, but our evening band has been. So I'll get down to that item down here. Our event date, as we know, Saturday, September 20th. Electric green to go. We've discussed that there will be some changes, but they are on our schedule for whatever we need them for the event. Portable restrooms, contacted and on schedule. Evening band, Real Rock Revival is who will be the evening band. We had a great success last year with Foreplay that we went back to the table with that agent, and these guys band are another great sounding band. So if you can check them out, search them out, you can see something about them, but they seem really great. So we're excited about them.
Hey, Chris, could I interrupt you on a couple of things?
Yes.
So, in terms of green to go, you may ask, well, why is electric there? They also provided an electrician as part of their service to the Celebrate Wildwood event. A gentleman that would be on call was there at the event for the entirety. So when people plug too many things in and a circuit breaker goes off, that kind of stuff. So I actually think we'll need that person just to kind of troubleshoot. It's a new venue and
Yeah,
people will be
agreed.
people. So that's why it's partially on there. And then the other thing is, we were trying to develop a list of potential headlining bands, and we were building that list, and everybody we contacted is already booked for the September 20th. According, I think, to one of the agents, that's like the most popular day in the fall, that third Saturday. So we actually may bring you some bands early in this year for 2026, so we can get you to help us pick somebody you may want as a group of the commission members. But it it was surprisingly difficult to find a band even this far out, which we started back now almost 11 months ago.
For this year, for this upcoming year?
Yes, ma'am.
And
Okay.
did we have trouble last year?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I'm
So
gonna bring a cowbell and learn the banjo, and then you guys gotta get the other instrument. Like, we need some finger cymbals, and we're just gonna put.
I can do a mean
Council-
tambourine.
Yeah, council will be the backup choir. We're like the late show.
Yay, right.
well, I will tell you the daytime band hasn't been booked, so Tim,
Oh no!
you're making it awful appealing.
Oh no! Yeah. Just wanted to add a little bit of levity, but
Yeah.
Thank you.
It sounds very stressful, but yeah.
Thanks, Chris, for letting me interrupt you.
Yep, of course. Thank you. The parade items, the location as usual, Schnucks Wildwood Crossing to Main Street. That won't change even with Village Green. We have not opened the application yet. We will get going on that. We're expecting Principia to participate again in 2025. They seem to be a crowd favorite, so and they enjoy participating, so that's wonderful. Selection of theme, we will have that upcoming in the future meetings. Parade participants, none at this time. Grand Marshal, another thing that will be upcoming in future meetings. And other items, nothing really completed yet on the parade. Oh, golf carts. Stacy's yelling at me from above. Golf carts have been booked. No need to worry. Food and drink items. Nothing scheduled yet, nothing on the list, but we've had people express we really get good feedback, from the vendors, the food vendors, about how much they enjoy the event. So I don't think that one's going to be a problem getting anybody booked. Some of them are already on the list. Not on the real list, but the pending list. Food, drink, nothing completed yet. The concert items underway. The interpreters for the deaf, that contract is actually in progress. Since we've sent this agenda out, the bands, we do have that contract in progress for the evening band. Nothing yet for the daytime band. That one isn't as hard to book, but we are looking at those bands for the daytime. Concert items, the sound and lighting, Finch Audio. He does all of our events. He's wonderful. He is contacted and on the schedule. That contract is in progress. Clant Staging, contacted and on schedule as well. So our big major components are already booked and scheduled and contract in progress. And the kids entertainment, police exhibits and demonstrations, that will be under Officer DeGelder. Juggling Jeff, the clowns, upper limits, the contracts are all in progress with them. Pony rides have not been contacted yet. We got to figure out a layout where they will be fitting in. Jolly Jump, same thing. We got to figure out the layout and where we'll all be in order for them to figure out what of their items are going to fit where. So that's never a problem with them. They are always wonderful to work with. And booth items, sponsorship letters have nothing's sent out yet. No applications have been started yet either. Applicants, we have been getting various people reaching out to be put on the list because they would like to participate. So we have our whole 2025 file with people that will reach out. So those are new people, as well as some people that didn't get in last year. The date didn't work for them that Miss Eden's contacted. They will all be on the list to receive an email. So hopefully we can get some new vendors out there to participate. And our marketing items, we've kind of poked around on our website, done a few things. Stacy's working on the posters and that kind of stuff. Now that we have the new logo and it's completed and has been approved, we'll get going on all that. So we should hopefully have everything. Director Vunich has mentioned about Gina with all of our new social media that she'll be able to help with and all that kind of stuff. And as usual, we'll be doing West News Magazine and our usual program poster. And that's it. We'll have this year with a new logo, we'll be doing some all new banners and everything like that with our new logo. So that'll be a whole new viewpoint out there that you'll be looking at instead of the white and the blues in the turquoisey type theme. You'll have all new colored themes out there. I think that's it. Anybody has any questions? Please let Director Vunich, myself, or Stacy know.
I do. I know that they were really hard to work with, and I will try to go to line dancing, or hard to get a hold of, not hard to work with. But if we could start really early on the line dancing thing again and try to make it happen this year, I think it would be so much fun. And I took a video of it, and I remember I showed you, Joe, but I can't remember if what other staff I showed, but at one of our other regular concerts in the summer concert series, there was just a country, a song playing in a break between the band. And there was just a group of people just organically line dancing together at our concert. And I thought it was a hoot. My second thought is perhaps completely inappropriate for this event, but it's just a thought. Some cities do dog parades or costume parades, and sometimes there may be more around Mardi Gras or different times. But I know we've had trouble sometimes filling out the parade participants, and this could add another element that maybe we don't want at all, or it could be a great thing to add. If you do something like that, then there's the potential for different types of corporate sponsors like Purina, or Royal Canin. And of course, depending on the weather, they may not do anything, but I have been to, demonstrations before, like at the Scottish Festival, which the city of Manchester hosts. Chesterfield used to host it, but they had, border collies herding sheep, and that's specific to that type of event. But there could always be a way to work in something in an area with like a agility run or something like that, if it was weather appropriate. Or Karina would be able to answer that, but it's just a thought. And again, it may be appropriate for a different event, or there's a way to incorporate it in the future. Just a Saturday around the loop at the Village Green.
With all
I
your,
know that dogs are a problem with the vendor, so as I'm saying it out loud, it's really more appropriate for the parade.
with no objection from the commission members, we'll add that to the agenda and to the list, and we'll do some research in advance of the next discussion.
I actually just signed up for the Rockwood Parkway Community Ed line dancing class.
Eh,
So I can ask whoever's running that and see if they'd be willing to do it.
Thank you, Ms. Jones.
Very exciting.
What I heard was that Miss Jones also just volunteered to teach us.
That's what I heard.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard.
And I think it doesn't work out, that Lauren will teach a Zumba class. That's also what I heard on this Zoom meeting, which is being recorded.
Way back in the day, I used to teach Pilates and spinning and other classes, but I never taught Zumba, but I had friends that did.
I think you could. I believe in you. Okay, anything else on the it's only 3 pages, which is like so short compared to what it is in August when it's like 6 pages. Thank you for always keeping this updated, Chris. It's so fun to see it grow in pages. And if anyone has any thoughts or anything that you would like to add or have the city staff research between now and the next meeting, if you don't have it now, I'm sure they will always take your emails. I know I'm notorious for a stream of consciousness email to the sweet staff.
Madam Chair, if I could just touch on one of the things that Kristen identified.
Sure.
The banners. As you know, we've had those same banners for the most part, the generic ones that are a component of the same pole where the business sponsors are located. And I think the colors have kind of played out their role, the turquoise, the kind of light blue. I think we can do better and kind of update them for 2025 and beyond. And so that's a decision you all should help make. So that's kind of, I don't have a design in mind yet. Obviously, it'll include the logo, but I'd like your permission to proceed with that. Because I think they look a little tired myself.
Is it okay to put the logo on even though it's going to say 30th? Is it okay to keep reusing that, or do we need to keep the 30th part off?
That's a very good point, Ms. Jones. Thank you, because it'll date it and it means it's a one-shot deal.
Well, but we could tie it in. So if the banner is rectangular, you could have the sun coming from the left-hand corner, the trees on the bottom, and still use the same font or something that's reminiscent.
Yeah.
So it'll still work. You could still make it look cohesive. It'll
Well,
work.
the original one didn't have 30 on it too. So you could actually go back a little bit and just take off the 30 and just put establishing.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Do we just take the 30 off, because then we can reuse them? Basically, yeah.
I really love that color scheme, obviously.
Yeah, I think it looks nice.
The design, but I think that those kind of like naturey fall colors are really representative of Wildwood, more than the turquoise, more than the Taco Bell of 1990 turquoise. I agree with you, Joe.
I mean, there was a good reason we selected that. I can't come up with it right now, but last year I looked at them and I just kept thinking, we got them with the commission's permission, we've got to move on. So
Yeah.
I just love that new logo. So I wanna put it on everything. Great. Do you need a motion from us to pursue that?
if you don't mind, it's a big decision and it was the current logo was approved by the commission. So yes, please.
Great. So can we get a motion for the city to move forward with a potential redesign of banners and other marketing materials?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Ms. Jones. Can we get a second?
A second.
Thank you, Ms. Silverman. All in favor?
I.
Aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
abstentions? Any nays? Great. Go forth, Joe.
Right.
Thank you all. Well, Chris and Stacy will do the heavy lifting, but
All right. Let's see. Looks like the last thing is any other considerations? Any other notes?
well, I have one kind of just off the cuff, but I'm curious what you all thought of the tree lighting ceremony.
Can I go first? Because it was magical for us. It was our first Christmas activity with our daughter, and it was so sweet and so special. And we saw Santa, and that was really exciting. And we really loved it. It was a really good size. It felt big enough that it felt like a real event, but it felt small enough that I was reminded of like what a tight-knit community Wildwood is. And I thought it was very, very lovely. My only note is the turnout when you go to exit over by my Wildwood dentist, which is my Wildwood dentist, got a little dicey. So maybe next year there's some sort of something over there, but got a little hairy.
Officer DeGelder can address that. He's our traffic guru. So thanks for the suggestion. Yeah, Chris, Stacy, and I were at the venue the entire day and after it closes. So that's information we need. Thank you.
I thought the bouncy house was a super, super fun addition, and I kept hearing a lot of positive comments about that, especially for people that had been in previous years. And for me, as a council member, I was so excited about the box with the plunger. Like, this is the stuff I've been asking for a switch for a long time. I was thrilled about that. And I enjoyed the kind of the reveal of the logo. I thought that was pretty cute.
That was cute. Yeah.
Yeah, in some places it was kind of hard to hear Joe on the microphone, and like the pop-up dancing was fun because what we've really lacked in years past has been like a core entertainment element. And the choir seems to have changed considerably. They're no longer in the dress. It's a different group of people. You can't hear them as well. So some of that charm has been lost. So it's nice that we kind of backfilled it with other things. And I'm hopeful next year maybe we can get like a group from one of the schools that can do something too. And that's always good because that brings a drive of parents and family to see and kind of duplicate that too. So I think that the city taking it over has been excellent. The business community is still involved, but that's what's improved the quality of the event. And I'm excited to kind of see it grow every year.
Yep. And the tree was so much happier this year.
Every year.
Last year it was a little Charlie. It was cute. It was a little Charlie Brown. This one when we drove by, we were like, that is a tree.
And just so you know, that was so much less of a Charlie Brown tree than the very first year, which we still fondly laugh about it being kindling, charming as it was. So again, every year it gets better and better.
So watch out, Rockefeller. In a couple years, by golly.
Well, Chris, the gauntlet's been laid down, so.
Oh, yeah. Officer DeGelder?
Ashley got a question. You
Yes.
said it was dicey there, so to make it easy for me to comprehend, would it help if eastbound 100 was not allowed to turn on the fountain right there? Was that what the issue was?
Yeah, so honestly, what it is it's folks who are exiting who don't, I mean, they're breaking the law. You're not supposed to turn left out of what's like when you're exiting,
Yes.
you only go right. They just turn left and they do it all, people do it all the time.
Well, if traffic is stopped from
Completely,
entering,
yeah, I think that.
It would probably help that issue then.
I think so too. And honestly, when people park kind of farther out, they're walking that crosswalk anyways, and that is a large fountain. So yeah.
Good, I got it. Perfect. Thank you.
And when it's closed next year and my husband complains, do not tell him this was my idea. Strike that from the record.
It's on video, sorry.
Are you talking about closing the little parking lot there though?
Mm-mm.
No,
You can
okay,
still
I'm
get
just
in the parking
confused.
lot.
You
Yeah,
can
yeah,
still
yeah.
get in the parking lot. All right, I got it.
No, just closing the little turn in from eastbound 100 onto Fountain, which would keep
Okay.
traffic from coming in and allow all vehicles to go really either direction without a car coming in at 55 miles an hour.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take my turn. I see how it goes.
That's what I'm saying. It's when next year when Cam is like, why can't I turn right? Just we'll tell him that it was Karen's idea.
None?
I mean, you're this. I just feel like you could take him down. Um, does anyone have any other comments or thoughts on the tree lighting? Love it. Joe did a great job. That is like he's so good at stuff like that.
Yes.
He's a mayor, but he's a dad, and you can tell he's a fun dad, and he's like into the Christmas magic, and it's so fun.
Yeah. And with the carolers, I was surprised they were not in costume. In past years, we've always asked them to dress accordingly. We were a little surprised. And this year, we'll talk about this as we get closer to the event in December. I don't know if there's a way to actually amplify the carolers, if there's a wireless mic setup. Maybe something we talk to Finch Audio about and actually make it a little overwhelming, but certainly something that can be better heard over just the conversation of the crowd.
That's a really good thought.
But thanks. Like I say, it's probably, at least from my perspective, the funnest event we do because it's just, that time of year. And so your input's important so we can make it better. And again, Chris and Stacy did a great job, but we also had help from our market manager, Natalie McAvoy, who just did a wonderful job too. And so yeah, we brought in all the stars to help Chris,
Yeah.
Stacy, and Natalie.
And
was
I
really
was gonna say, I really enjoyed some of the booths that she was able to get, and I know that's hard because she's already done the Winter Mart the weekend before, and then we're competing with the Lafayette Craft Show as well. But having something that people can purchase, I think people enjoyed. And then just we really struggled. I know our first years to get like the coffee situation and the food trucks, and people love the cocktail and the coffee option as well, and there were samosas and cupcakes and things like that. So it really it felt more like a real event that you could sink your teeth into, and I'm glad Natalie got looped in because I think she's kind of key to that because we're not reinventing the wheel. The one thing that I'd really like to budget for or do is to get a physical sign at Lafayette with permission of Rockwood that just reminds people that are in the area, especially people that don't live here, because it does draw a big crowd, that there is an event and a tree lighting, because they can leave directly from Lafayette and go to ours. And then we might find vendors that know vendors or that are tired of that and want to come to ours, or vice versa, and just kind of open it up. So I think that would be a real benefit to kind of capture that audience and allow people to plan their day in advance if they see that driving in, because then they'll have energy to do something else. And a slogan, this is a slogan or whatever, it's only a mile away or whatever it is, 2 miles away. So
That's a good thought.
put it on the sign, stick it in the gram.
Well, just as a footnote, the principal at Lafayette High School, Karen Calcaterra, she used to be on our volunteer commission for the art festival. So I think maybe getting some signage up there may not be as hard as one might think. So we'll certainly ask.
Sounds good.
She was also on the ethics committee, so she's pretty involved.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll count on you, Miss Jones, for
You got a hefty list, Leslie. You got
I know.
All right, moving on to our 2025 meeting schedule. Thank you for putting this together. I know that with court things can be complicated. Lauren, we can connect offline just because I have one that I already know that I'll be at a conference for on site for work. So but beyond that, does anyone have any thoughts or questions or anything related to that schedule?
I anticipate May being my last meeting, although just because we only usually have one council
year,
meeting
yeah.
for now, and we're going to swear in the new group. So I'm sure you guys have already realized I didn't file for re-election, so I definitely won't be on this commission. I'm just not sure if when the new appointment will take effect. So probably April, maybe May. Actually, probably May, because the second weekend would be when they're sworn. So yeah, I'll see you in May.
Great.
Then I'm
That's
out.
the meeting that I won't be at. So that's your
Okay.
punishment for leaving, is you have to lead the last meeting.
Well,
And
can't she be from that, her ward, be on the committee from her ward?
I could be potentially another citizen one, but I just, since I'm officially on here as council liaison, I get the boot, and the only way is if somebody else rotates off, and I don't want to take your spot.
But I thought we were short some. Are we not short some?
Are we short? Oh, well, maybe.
in Ward 2?
I don't know. I'm just asking.
I would say, I think Kurt's, yeah, there she is. I was like, someone is in Ward 2. But yeah, that's a good note. And great. Okay. Anyone else have any questions or thoughts on the schedule? Do we need to uninvite Joe to any of those? I'm feeling really sassy in my own house. I feel like I gotta get back in the community room so I can be a more thorough leader, less sassy leader.
Well, we always copy in Mayor Garitano on all of our correspondences that go out to you, so he's always welcome. And I think I've mentioned, I always provide for information at each city council meeting in the work session, the reports that are prepared, that are acted upon by the commission. So I'd like to think we keep the commission pretty well in the loop, so.
Agreed. All right. Our next meeting is February 6th, right before the Super Bowl. There's a great chance that the Lions will be in the Super Bowl. I might be a mess that week. So you can look forward to that.
Well, I think Ms. Jones may have a competitor. So
Only
Chief,
in the best. Or should I say 3P?
Okay, we can
well, you're really rubbing it in.
listen. The Lions versus Taylor Swift is my worst case scenario, but we don't have to talk about that on YouTube right now. Okay, everyone. Well, unless there's any other questions or anything else, I think we can call this a success. And I'm going to ask for a motion to adjourn. Thank you, Miss Edens. Do we have a second?
A second.
Thanks, Leslie. All in favor? You can't say no.
I
Yay, amazing. All right, well, I will see everyone in February, hopefully in person. Let's hope for no snowstorms. Everybody stay warm. Looking forward to this next year. Bye
Thank
all.
you all.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
See ya.